So they make us wait 2 years. 2 years since the first announcement of this movie, and not once did they confirm a single thing about Lelouch being in it. I get it, his name was in the title, but we never did see him in any of the 4 trailers they released or the many visuals. So it was still kind of fun to have that lingering doubt that maybe he is actually dead. But nope, they just couldn't wait till the movie and let it be this big surprise. What am I talking about exactly? Well, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, they confirmed in what I think to be the least impactful way possible that Lelouch is back.
Oh my god!
Well, in the Code Geass movie universe anyway. Now, I'm not disappointed he's alive, more just with the way that they revealed that he was. So, how did they do it? A few days ago, the movie aired in Japan for the first time, and a day before that, they released a short 15-second commercial preview, something you wouldn't expect to contain anything new, more like just a cut compilation of scenes that we've seen from past trailers. But you can imagine my shock when literally the first scene we see is Lelouch with a code mark. Like, what? Okay, sure, whatever, I'm over it. Let's just look at the trailer. It's in a very familiar place from where Charles's mark made contact with Lelouch's body. So, code theory confirmed? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but one thing that we do know is Lelouch is alive and looks to be back in action. Personally, I would prefer to find this out in the movie, but if they're showing it to us now in a brief commercial like this, then his revival probably happens fairly early on. So we have the first 33% of the trailer spent focusing on Lelouch. Then we get some action shots of the OG mechs, first with Colin's Gurren, then with Suzaku's Lancelot. Notice here how he's fighting that shielded nightmare from the initial attack on Nunnally. The first time they fought, he was in the Shinkiro, but now he's in his Lancelot. But what gives away the fact that this is a rematch taking place a bit later on are the bandages on Suzaku's head, as seen here. Clearly, this was after Suzaku had been captured, tortured, and then rescued. And since he's in his own mech now, you can probably assume how this fight will end. We then have Colin making a relieved face, most likely from seeing Lelouch after he gets revived. Then we see a whole bunch of the returning cast, including Psycho Table Girl, who we've yet to see until now. But being honest, the amount of nostalgia in this single frame is crazy. Even the randoms in the back with their signature Black Knight uniforms is certainly a sight to see. From this, you can probably gather that these are Lelouch's allies, as the next scene brings us to who they're facing off against. Just 2 short clips of the Jerkston leader and then the strange being who's working with her. Then we have C2 reaching over the backseat of the nightmare that they're in, and finally Lelouch using his Geass power. Which is interesting, because I thought that when someone becomes a code bearer, they end up losing their Geass ability in exchange for immortality and the ability to grant Geass. At least that's how I remember it being. So that brings us to the end of the 15-second commercial. However, literally 2 minutes before I was about to edit and upload this video, Bandai Namco decided to upload a new trailer. Pretty much a full movie preview that bridges together everything that we've seen in the past and essentially presents us with a coherent story. I'll still briefly go through it, though I won't analyze it too deeply, since if you really wanted to figure out what the movie was about, you could probably just read all the spoilers online anyway. So in the first scene, we've got a nice cinematic looking view of what's likely a Jerkston palace, immediately setting the main location of most of the conflict. Then we get our first look at the 2 antagonists together, cause if you remember, we only ever speculated that these 2 were working with each other. They've never actually been seen communicating, much less even in the same room as each other. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if he was the code bearer that grants this lady some Geass powers. Next we see some close-ups of them, followed by the green-haired dude who I've been on the fence of calling ally or villain. But based on how he's dressed and the way that he's grouped up with the other 2 in the trailer, then it's likely he's fighting against Lelouch. Though, based on what we've seen in the past trailers, I thought for sure he would be the one to save Suzaku. Anyway, we have the rest of the Jerkston generals quickly shown in various shots, followed by waves of CG mechs. As far as we know, only one of these generals have a Geass power, the one that used it on Colin. But it wouldn't surprise me if every general had a contract with the Jerkston's codebearer, and each had their own unique Geass. That would certainly make for a war with interesting tactics and strategies. Now, here's where things get interesting. Rather than just a short shot of Lelouch, we have him in a moment that I assume to be his right after his resurrection. And you know that if he's making poses like this, that he's about to use his Geass on some poor soul. From these shots, it looks like he gets revived and is immediately placed in command of whatever army is fighting against Jerkston. Then, as if to confirm that this is the Lelouch we know, the mastermind that is Zero, We see him wearing the outfit, complete with the new and improved Zero Mask 2.0. It's pretty fantastic. A bit later on, we also see the complete outfit, and the most up-to-date model of the Gawain. As for the rest of the trailer, it's pretty much just various character and action shots. A few key things to note would be Gilbert and Cornelius Gloucester's back in action, then both Anya and Jeremiah in their mechs. Even the Knight of Two makes an appearance. So I think it's safe to say that there definitely won't be a shortage of mechs in this movie. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was just a little bit excited to see all these characters back in action. Actually, who am I kidding? Just seeing everyone from the original series team up to take on a new enemy gets me so freaking hyped. I definitely recommend watching the trailer in its entirety. There's certainly a lot of fan service packed into these 90 seconds. Aside from that, the first 5 minutes of the movie was leaked online, so if you want to watch that, then you can do so with the link in the description. As for when people outside of Japan will get to see it, well, I can't speak for anyone outside of North America, but Funimation did confirm that the subbed version will release on May 5th, and the dubbed version shortly after on May 7th to 8th. It's definitely not as far away as I thought it would be, and what's a few more months compared to the years we've been waiting anyway. But yeah, at this point, I don't think there's anything left to say about Code Geass. Perhaps after the movie airs, I'll put together a code theory video, since some of you may be unfamiliar with what that entails. For now though, I guess we'll just wait till May to watch the movie. And that's it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So, until next time, ciao!